Lucas Santos is a senior software engineer, a Google developer expert, and a Microsoft MVP. He is heavily involved with the TypeScript community with over 2,000 followers on GitHub, 13,000 followers on LinkedIn, 9,000 on Twitter, and he has a successful YouTube channel with over 5,000 subscribers. So I caught up with him to learn more about him, his thoughts on the JavaScript ecosystem, and his upcoming talk at TypeScript Congress. So let's go. All right, Lucas, thank you so much for joining us today. So you're speaking at the TypeScript Congress.
Yes,
that's coming up. Can you give a brief introduction of yourself and your background in TypeScript?
Sure. Yeah, I am originally from Brazil. I live here in Sweden today. It's been around like 2 years and so. I've been coding professionally for the past 13 years, I guess, since 2010. Most of those years have been with JavaScript and TypeScript in general since 2015 or so. But I've been through, I started with Visual Basic 2005, 2010. I have VB6 and stuff like that, Delphi, Pascal. Then I went to some ASP, classic ASP, and had a long run on PHP for like 5 years or so. And then I decided that JavaScript was my thing, and that was my beginnings. I worked in several like companies since like mostly in startups back in Brazil. Then I joined Microsoft as the one of the advocates for the AKS team. So I started learning before a bit. Platforms like AWS and cloud stuff in general. Eventually dropped in Kubernetes and started trying to use like TypeScript with Kubernetes and learning how to do it, teaching people how to do it. That's when most of my stuff came up in YouTube, or like I always loved to write and do things. So this kind of things like for these things, I've gained the like MVP and developer experts and like the Dev2 thing that you can see here. Like nice. I write a lot. That is the thing. And I have a blog. I have a YouTube channel. I have social media like YouTube, Twitter, and stuff like that. I put a bunch of techie stuff. I like to talk about history of computing and how things are, how they came to be, and how they work, basically. But that's me.
So you do have a very good YouTube channel. I've already visited that, so great job on that. What is something that you are very proud of on that channel?
Well, one of the things that I am pretty proud of is that one day I decided to study, most of the videos that you see there is just like me fixing knowledge, right? Most of the stuff that I do for like content, especially on blogs and videos, is just because I am terrible at remembering stuff. So I just create videos and teach people because I think it's easier to fix the knowledge like that. There's the Feynman method, right? So
yes, 100%.
That's one of the nicest things that I've done is like one day I decided that I wanted to learn how blockchain works and how like Bitcoin works and stuff. So I was like, well, why don't I just build a blockchain out of, TypeScript or stuff? And I published a video on blockchain in TypeScript. And I think I got like some weird timing right, because I think it was like the rising of the crypto thing. And I don't know, it's always there's some kind of rise. And then like it went viral, like it had like 12,000 views in I think 1 week or so, and like I never had any.
That's impressive.
My channel is pretty small. Like if you look at other channels, so it was really interesting to see how this went on. It was like something that I just liked doing, and then it just boom went viral. And the other thing that I am also is the same stuff. So like I wanted to learn how to build a VPN for myself and host it on Azure, and then I did the video, and then it kind of boomed again because most people apparently in Brazil, they use VPN to download like illegal stuff. And I was like, that is some weird way of getting viral videos, but that's counting as well. So well, I think all in all, like the sum of stuff is that what inspired me a lot in the YouTube channel is like doing things I like and seeing how people can how can I help people on that. And like some
both of those topics are definitely very engaging. Definitely feel like checking out both of them. And especially with VPNs, I think it's a very good business model as well, which is why, like, if you want to start a business with the minimum investment possible, I think VPN is one of those. So
Definitely.
great job on giving that.
I should have done that, actually.
Someone will watch your video, they will learn that process, and they will make a business out of it.
Definitely. Probably they will. But nice.
So you're also actually quite popular on GitHub. You have like 2K plus followers. Are there any GitHub projects that you're quite proud of?
I have 2 projects that I am proud of. I don't know how I got this kind of followers. Like I'm not the one person that's been looking around. Okay, so that's like trying to boost the GitHub or stuff. I've always been a GitHub user since like mostly when it came out. But it took a while for me to learn Git. So I was working already like in tech for like 5 or 6 years already when I actually learned how Git actually worked. So I used Git because like was okay. First I used SVN in Tortoise, and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how it worked. Didn't know anything why it was there. Yep. And then I discovered Git. Then I started, oh shit, this is awesome. And in my GitHub, I started doing like 2 projects. Like I said, I'm terrible at remembering stuff. So every book I read, I created a repository that's called My Notes. It's just a bunch of study notes. And then like everything I was writing, I just put in there because my computer was not very reliable at the time. So every time my hard drive would fail, I had to switch. I was using like, I think, I changed distributions of Linux every week. So
nice.
It was something that was not very nice to have like files in your computer. So I put most of them on the cloud. So I was using GitHub mostly as a Google Drive or stuff. And this repository helped a lot of people actually when I started like giving talks and, teaching stuff online. Most people forked this repository, they stored it, and like most people started studying some language through My Notes, which is weird because they are very difficult to read. I had a fork, like my first PR on GitHub was a guy that added, I think, Java thing on this repository. And then I have a very a pet project that I like a lot. Now I don't use it a lot, but when GraphQL came out, I feel that there was a shortage of how you can create like queries. So I built like I was working in a company we were using GraphQL, and I built like a parser so you can write like JSON styled queries, and you can manipulate those JSON files, those JSON queries, and basically you can write JavaScript objects and it will translate to GraphQL queries. And then I ported it to TypeScript when I started like working heavily with TypeScript and testing and stuff. This is one of the most nice projects that like one of the nicest things I've ever done, because you got a lot of stars. And I also maintained it for a long time, for like 5 or 4 years. So I still have people coming and saying, hey, can you implement like fragments? Can you implement variables? And I was like, yeah, like I don't use this anymore, but yeah, PRs are welcome.
That's always the case at some point. Like we build systems for ourselves, and then they grow their own environment, and then they sustain beyond us even actually being there to foster it further and work on that.
Yeah.
So you're quite involved with the. You're quite involved with the.
Fact.
Go for it.
One fun fact is that apparently a programming school in Brazil figured out this project, and they were using for one of their classes. So I suddenly got a bunch of people forking the project and using it in something called Salt Soul Star or something like that. It was like, yeah, something's happening here. I don't know what, but yeah, cool.
It's always great when projects get picked up by education. I have a book as well on TypeScript, and I get comments from instructors, and I'm always impressed that somebody, like people that are teaching other people, find a particular resource that I created useful.
Yeah, it's really cool.
You're heavily involved with the TypeScript ecosystems. You've mentioned TypeScript a number of times in the different projects that you've worked on. What is your topic for the TypeScript Congress? 2023, and what inspired you to choose this particular topic?
I need to get exactly the name because I really want to give you the correct information. But the idea is that my topic is like some life-saving techniques for TypeScript projects. This is basically a talk that it's a lightning talk. It's like 5-7 minutes or so. The idea is that I'm going to go through a few life-saving stuff, like some small quirks and tips that saved a lot of projects. Like I work at Klarna here in Europe, and we are like a very big payment provider, and most of it, like most of the front end and some of the core systems actually run in TypeScript. And I got like, okay, so how do you manage to scale and maintain a 6,000 people, 6,000 like employees project without breaking stuff? And this is like the tips that I got from it, and some things that I got over the years. So basically it's kind of a survival guide in the woods.
Experience based.
Yeah. So it's an idea of like just getting all these tips in one place and shooting them to...
I'm a big fan of lightning talks. The amount of value that you get, and especially in the modern day when people are short on time, this is the kind of content that actually gets the most views as well. This is what people are looking for. They don't want to see people just talk and talk. They want to get the core benefits of the knowledge that you want to share as quickly as possible. So that's a great topic.
Yeah, this is originally it was a 40-minute talk, so it's going to be a very interesting challenge to get it to 5 or 7.
Really,
but I am pretty confident.
So I love the wall of post-it notes behind you. So we've already talked about this, but the viewers will not know at this point. So can you walk us through what that is?
Well, that is my organization, like my personal organization for a TypeScript course that I'm launching. It's in Portuguese for now. It's still in pre-sale. But the idea is that I am terrible at seeing things on a virtual canvas. So like I love
physical things as well. I could be typing notes right now, but I take them on a organic pen and paper.
Yeah, I also have like this small one here that I like to note stuff on it. Mostly work stuff and things like that, but I have like a remarkable tablet that I write stuff. It's awesome too. I like writing like you. So I like writing and like doing stuff. And when I decided that I wanted to do like a TypeScript course, I was like, okay, I want to make this as complete as possible, but also not boring. So I started like sketching on like ScalaDraw or some mind map tool. I was like, yeah, this is not feeling, because I think I'm very constrained about like just the mouse, having just the mouse pointer, and I want to move things like, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to do something here. I had a lot of post-its, and then I had these tags that you put on books. So I'm going to just write everything that I'm going to teach in one post-it, and I'm just going to glue them all in my door, and then I'm going to organize them into categories. And then that's what I did. So that's basically the modules. This is the classes for the course. And I organized them into modules. And then I passed this all to like a Notion database because it's easier. But the idea that you can just like move stuff around, that makes me like feel freedom about it. And I think that's actually 98 classes of the course.
Wow.
It's huge.
That sounds great.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, yeah, maybe that's big. But
no, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Smaller topics that are more focused, I enjoy them most. I'd rather watch 98 videos than just one big one.
Yeah, like before I launched the course, I tried to create like what the community wants to learn. So like I'm Brazilian, most of my Brazilian my community is Brazilian, so I'm focusing there first. Then I'm gonna try to if I have the good feedback and stuff, then I'm gonna move everything to English and try to teach it here, because the markets are very different. As I've seen, like in Brazil, people are more focused about you have to you want to learn stuff, but you want to learn in a specific order. because of the education system there. And outside of Brazil, what I see is like people want to learn specific topics. So it's easier to organize on topics than organizing on modules that you do it. But I am gonna give them wait for them to give me the feedback about it. And I created this course actually in conjunction with the community. So I created just okay, this is a form, you can answer whatever you want to learn. And then people just started answering. I had over 300 responses, which is, for me, it's a lot of stuff. And then I got from these responses, I started building a grid of things that I wanted to teach with what they wanted to learn. And then that's what it came to be. And I hope I can deliver everything on time. It's going to be built. It's still not recorded, so I'm still creating the whole grid, the whole content. I think it's going to be, it's already in pre-sale in Brazil, but if you speak Portuguese, it's convertible. But you also, I think I'm going to finish it on February next year. I think it's the end date, March, something like that. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's one of the nicest projects I've ever done.
So I'm looking forward to your TypeScript Congress talk. Is there anything else that you want to talk about that you're within the TypeScript ecosystem? Anything that you want to give a shout out to?
No, yeah, just if you I'm gonna try to do things in English. I hope in the future.
Your English is perfect. So if that's a community that you want to target as well, go for it.
Oh, thanks a lot.
They'll love it.
I want to create an English content to reach more people outside of Brazil. I think it's not quite of the moment, because I have to be very specific what I want to see, and I'm still learning how to do content creation in YouTube. It's quite new for me. So I want to create English content. But if you speak Portuguese, you can go to my channel. Everything is in my social networks. So it's just lsantos.dev. And I hope and I promise that in the future I will put content in other languages, especially in English, there, so everyone can also check it out. So that's my comment. And you can reach out to me at any time, English, Portuguese, whatever. I'm always open to talk and discuss technology.
9,000 followers on Twitter as well.
Yeah, that's true.
That's an impressive number.
Really? I don't know. I think it's quite small, actually. But I've learned in the past that I used to worry about followers a lot. And then I was that doesn't actually matter, because Elon can buy Twitter and destroy it in a few days.
Yeah.
So that's just okay, 9,000 people that were there once, and then eventually they are not there anymore. So I was let's focus on the content and see because if your content is good, it doesn't matter where you're going.
You put it.
Right. So
100%.
I think that's the point. And it took me a while to do it, because this is more philosophical stuff, the current state of society and how we do social stuff. But yeah, I think people shouldn't worry about a lot of followers. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of the work that I've done for Twitter and stuff. So yeah, 9,000 people, it's not a small amount of people thinking about it. So thank you all for this, and thanks for the opportunity to actually be here. I love your channel. I love your content. I watch it a lot, actually. So yeah, thanks a lot for this interview.
Thank you so much, Lucas, for spending your time with me. Thank you for this interview. Thank you for answering these questions, and looking forward to your talk. And thank you for watching this as well. Take care. Bye.
Yeah.
And that was perfect.